A crow does not need your name to remember you. It only needs your face. That is the uncomfortable part. You can walk past a crow on a fence, forget it 10 seconds later, and never think about that moment again. But the crow may file you away as something useful, safe, dangerous, interesting, worth watching. And if you ever gave that crow a reason to care, it may remember you for years, not because crows are magical, because memory is survival. That is the first thing to understand about them. A crow is not just a black bird making noise in a parking lot. It belongs to the corvid family, one of the smartest bird families on Earth. Crows, ravens, magpies, jays, rooks, and jackdaws all belong to this group. They solve problems, they hide food, they use tools, they watch other birds, they learn from each other. And in some studies, crows have shown that they can recognize individual human faces, not just a person, a specific person. Researchers tested this with masks. People wore one kind of mask during a stressful encounter with crows. Later, people returned wearing that same mask. The crows reacted strongly, they called. They followed. They warned other crows nearby. Then people wore other masks that had not been connected to danger. The reaction was different. The birds were not simply afraid of all humans. They had learned a face, and this is where it becomes more fascinating. The reaction could last long after the original event. Clothing could change, time could pass. The face still mattered. For humans, that feels almost personal. But for a crow, it is practical. If something threatened you once, remember it. If something fed you once, remember it too. If a place had food, mark it. If a person came too close to the nest, store that information. A crow's world is built from details, where food is hidden. Who saw the hiding place? Which street has traffic that cracks nuts? Which yard has a dog? Which window has a person who leaves food? Which face should be avoided? A city may look random to us. To a crow, it can become a map of risk and reward. That is why they do so well around people. They are not just surviving in cities, they are reading them. A roof becomes a lookout point. A street becomes a tool. A trash bin becomes an opportunity. A power line becomes a meeting place. A human routine becomes a pattern, and crows are very interested in patterns. The person who walks the same dog every morning, the person who throws bread in the park, the person who opens the same gate, the person who once waved their arms and shouted, the person who got too close to a tree with a nest. You may see these as small moments. A crow may see them as data. That is why their stare can feel so sharp. We are used to being the observers. We look at animals, decide what they are doing, and move on. But crows look back from fences, from branches, from rooftops, from the top of a streetlight. They watch the same world we do, but they are paying attention to a different set of clues. And they do not always keep those clues to themselves. Crows are social birds. When one crow gives an alarm call, others listen. When one crow reacts strongly to a person, others may look at that person too. Young crows can learn from older crows. A warning can spread through a group. So if one crow learns that a face is dangerous, another crow may learn it without ever having the original experience. This is not a crow courtroom. No one is holding a meeting about you in a tree. But information moves. A call, a direction of attention, a repeated reaction. That can be enough. This is social learning. One animal experiences something, and others benefit from watching the response. It is one of the reasons crows can seem almost suspiciously aware. They are not only reacting to the present, they are carrying useful pieces of the past with them. That ability changes how they deal with humans. Imagine a crow nesting in a city tree. One person walks under it every day and never causes trouble. Another person throws something at the birds. A third person leaves food near the same bench. Those are not the same human. And if the crow can tell the difference, it gains an advantage. It can save energy. It can avoid danger. It can return to good places. It can warn the group faster. That is intelligence, not in the way humans like to define intelligence, but in the way nature often uses it. Notice, remember, adapt. Crows are not powerful because they are large. They are not fast like falcons or strong like eagles. Their advantage is flexibility. They can live in forests, farms, suburbs, cities, and coastlines. They can eat almost anything. They can learn from failure. They can use human-made objects in ways those objects were never meant to be used. A car was not made to crack a nut. A crow may still use it that way. A city was not built for crows. Crows learn the city anyway. This is why they have such a strange place in our imagination. Their appearance makes them easy to turn into symbols. Black feathers, harsh calls. A group of them in a bare tree. A silhouette against a cold sky. Movies use them when something bad is coming. Stories use them as omens. But real crows are not omens. They are problem solvers. Their calls are not messages from another world. They are communication. Their gathering is not a curse. It may be a warning, a food opportunity, a social moment, or simply a group of birds responding to the same thing. The mystery is not that crows are supernatural. The mystery is that they are so observant. And sometimes observant animals make us uncomfortable, because they remind us that we are not the only ones taking notes. There is another behavior people love to talk about: gifts. Some people who regularly feed crows report finding small objects left behind: bottle caps, pebbles, buttons, shiny bits of metal. Are they really gifts? Maybe. Maybe not. We should be careful not to turn every animal action into a human emotion. A crow is not writing a thank you letter. It is not thinking exactly like a person. But the behavior still tells us something important. Crows notice repeated kindness. They learn predictable humans. They can become familiar with a person without becoming tame in the way a pet becomes tame. Their trust is cautious. It does not rush. It does not wag its tail. It does not jump into your arms. It lands a little closer. It waits instead of flying away. It returns to the same spot. It watches from the fence. With crows, trust often looks like distance that slowly gets smaller. That is very different from the animals we usually understand best. A dog may come to you openly. A cat may choose your lap. A crow keeps an exit ready, even when it is curious, even when it knows you, even when it has decided you are probably safe. That is part of what makes them compelling. Their intelligence does not feel soft. It feels sharp. They are not trying to be charming. They are trying to survive. And if you are part of their environment, then you become part of what they study. This does not mean every crow you see is memorizing your face with dramatic intensity. Most of the time, a crow is simply doing crow things: searching for food, watching traffic, avoiding danger, communicating with others, protecting a nest, or resting. But under the right conditions, a face can matter. If you feed them, if you scare them, if you approach their nest, if you appear again and again in the same place, if you become part of a pattern. That is the key word: pattern. Crows are not remembering you because your life story is important to them. They are remembering what your presence has meant before. Food, threat, noise, safety, risk, nothing at all. And maybe that is what makes the whole thing feel so strange. You may be the main character in your own day, but to a crow you are a signal in a much larger map. A moving shape with a face with a history that might matter later. So the next time you see a crow on a fence, you can still walk past like nothing happened. Maybe nothing did happen. But maybe the crow noticed you. Maybe it placed you somewhere in its map. Maybe it will forget. Or maybe years from now, you will walk down the same street and hear a familiar call from above. Not magic, not a curse, just memory. Black feathers, sharp eyes, and a mind that may be keeping track of more than we ever expected.